Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I'm doing a full face of dupes slash like just obvious copies of like kind of high-end products. So a couple of these products I have used on my channel before because I like to pick up a lot of dupes to see if they're downright a copy or if they're worth it or they're just a really good alternative. There's a couple of new products that I've not tried because I've been going to a local beauty outlet which sell a lot of W7 and Technic, so a bit of spoilers as to what brands will be featured in this video. So I'm going to start off on my lips today because a lip oil in essence. So like, you know, I am a big fan of NYX Professional Makeup. I'm actually on their PR list, which is one of the weirdest things in the world, and I'm also part of one of their makeup addict communities. And recently they came out with some lip oils, and it wasn't even that long after that W7 came out with this. So as soon as I saw this, I think I saw this on Instagram or I saw it on something, I was laughing so much because W7 really have no chill. Like they really don't know when to kind of like dumb it down slightly. And I mean, as soon as I saw this, I was like, if I see this in a beauty outlet, I'm gonna get it straight away. And so this is their version of their lip oil. So this is the thick drip. This is in the shade Spotlight. So I mean, NYX have come out with about maybe 8 or 9 shades, and I think with W7 I think I've only seen about 3 or 4. So I'm going to start off on the lips today. I did actually use the standard lip oil this morning because when I go out I actually put it on every day because it's very nice and hydrating. So I'm going to see if this is any different. I do have another lip product to use later, but I just wanted to see how this was. It doesn't smell exactly the same. The NYX Professional Makeup one has quite a more sweet scent, and this is just a kind of chemically-esque smell. So I'm just going to put some of this on just to hydrate my lip because I do get very dry lips. So I mean, the doe foot is exactly the same and the kind of feel is very similar. I mean, yeah, there's again, there's not much difference, but yeah, we'll see how it gets on for the rest of the video because obviously I have quite a few other products to try, and so when I get to the lipstick I will kind of remove it and see if it's done much. So let's go on to like primer kind of thing. So everyone and their mother have been duping this product, so we all know what it's going to be, but this is the Technic Pro Filter. This has recently just come out, I would say about 2 weeks ago, and I was in another beauty outlet. They didn't have the shade, but yeah, I finally found it in another one just today. This is in the shade Fair. So of course this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, which I never understand like why it gets so much hype. Like, I love Charlotte Tilbury products, also have a code of her as well, and it's just kind of everyone is just obsessed with duping this. Like, Collection have done it, Elf went kind of like viral about making their version, and so many other brands have been making it. So I picked this up, and I'm just very intrigued to see if it brings anything different to the table, because I wouldn't say it's, I think out of all of them this is probably the more affordable version, because this was £4.99, and then the Elf one I'd say was about £10, and the Collection one was about maybe £8 or something, and then you've got the doe foot, which is again exactly the same. So I'm just going to use this how I would use the other Flawless filters, which is not as like a foundation, but as kind of like a primer kind of thing. And I'm just going to blend it in with this Elf brush, because what I have learned is not to use my hands because then it would get super greasy afterwards, and that is not what I want. And I mean, I'm slowly getting into like the whole dewy kind of feel and look, really, because I mean, it's never been a look that I've wanted to go after, but as the summer's kind of coming up and I need to just face the fact that I need to kind of protect my skin as much as possible, and if that means wearing a bit of makeup on top of like my SPF to keep it more protected, I'll just do that and kind of not be too heavy with my makeup, because I do wear a lot of full coverage stuff. So during the summer, having a dewy feel is kind of like the thing. But looking at this one, I mean, it's blended out very nicely. It's giving me like a slight tint, so like it's got this kind of, obviously it's got a glow to it, but you can tell that there's a bit of color to it as well, and it is literally like a gold kind of primer. But I'm gonna let that settle in for just a moment while we talk about our foundation. So this is actually a tinted moisturizer, and this is another new product that I found at the beauty outlet. So this is by W7 again, and this is their just tinted, and this literally looks like one of the NARS foundations. I can't remember what it's called. I will put up a picture, and I kind of saw it and I was like, I want to try this, because W7 are always coming out with like newer foundations. I don't know if it's like the same foundation but in different packaging, but yeah, this is in the shade Nude, so I don't think there is a big selection of shades, unfortunately, which is, even for like these type of brands, I still feel like they need to have a big selection of shades. So I'm gonna go in on, like, I'm gonna put it on my ISO Clean palette just to kind of see how much I would need to use, because again, it's just a tinted moisturizer. I don't think it's going to give me much coverage. So let's just tap this on. I probably have not added enough to this palette to cover my face, but let's give this a well. Okay, so you know what? That is actually looking really decent. I mean, I'm not going to say that this is any kind of major coverage. I feel like this is definitely giving me something. It's obviously not covered any of like these dark spots or anything that I have. I really didn't think it was going to do that at all, but I did use just a tad bit more kind of off camera to kind of top everything off. But I think this is looking actually quite nice. You can still see the pro filter coming through, so it's definitely given my skin a bit of a dewy, oily look, which for the moment is totally fine, because once I kind of progress and maybe kind of put on a setting powder, we'll see how it looks after. So I have a cream blush that I want to use, and I actually haven't used it in, I would say, in a few weeks, because I just try so much new stuff all the time. I have an addiction, guys, it's a thing. But Primark came out with a dupe for the Rare Beauty Pinch Blush, and this actually I think a lot of people were really happy about something like this, because I mean, Primark are never known for like the most amazing quality, but they do have a lot of dupes that I feel that people kind of miss on sometimes. But this is their cream blusher in the shade, I don't know if this has got, oh, in Rose, because it's right at the front. But I quite like this. I mean, I have so many other dupes by other brands, but this one I felt like I wanted to use because it's been like quite a while since I've actually used it. So I'm just gonna kind of tap it on, and it's not crazy like pigmented, but it's got a really nice glow to it, and it's never gonna beat the original like Rare Beauty one, because that is one of my favorite blushes ever. Like, the style of it is obviously very similar, and the packaging is also quite close as well, but I felt like it's kind of a nice dupe to kind of add in this video. Now I'm just going to powder everything down off camera, and then we'll move on to more parts of my face. With the face, I have finally picked this up. So this is by W7, so this is their Sculpt Power the Cheek. So this is obviously a massive like copy slash dupe of Benefit. So when you look inside, it literally has the same layout, the same kind of tones. This was, I would say, maybe £5, and I'm pretty sure in like the Benefit version that's like 50-60 pounds or something. But it comes with its own kind of hula bronzer, which is called Honolulu. How close. It comes with 2 highlighters and a blush as well, so I might go on top with the blush also. We'll see how I'm feeling, but I'm going to go in with Honolulu first, just slightly. I'm not going to add too much because it looks a tad pigmented, and my forehead is already slightly tinted by by this kind of tinted moisturizer. So I'm just going to take like a small amount, and this is quite an old product, not for me because I just picked it up today, but I know that it's been out for a while, and it is quite nice. I mean, if you don't want to use you don't want to like go out and spend all your money on just like one product, you can obviously pick up a lot of dupes. I mean, what are your views on dupes? Because I'm just so intrigued, because I always feel like brands like these are like like kind of on a stepping stone. Like they have to be so careful because certain brands have been known to kind of get sued or like get called out by the creators of certain items, and they're therefore kind of like, was it really worth it? Like, would you kind of feel like you should just like made something else, like made your own product in the beginning? I'm now actually going to try the blush in the shade Rebel, so I'm just going to take some of it on a fluffy brush and just top it up on here. But yeah, I mean, I've always been like, I actually quite enjoy looking at different dupes, like I mentioned, just kind of getting a feel if they're anything like the original, because you know, any chance I get to save a bit of money and buy a lot of makeup at the same time is always quite beneficial to me, because you know, I work really hard for my money. I don't just want to waste it on any old rubbish. But I mean, you know, a lot of times brands that are so up there, that are still quite expensive, are still very, very popular. Like they still make their money. They're still going to be selling that high-end product regardless of the dupe. So let me know what you guys think about dupes in general. So I'm now going to go in with this shade, which is called Shy, and it's a highlighter. So I'm just going to kind of, yeah, put it in my normal highlighting. Oh, that's quite icy, so that's not too bad. Okay, that's quite nice. It's a nice little palette. Again, complete dupe, but you know what, it's not too bad. All right, so now we're going to move on to the eyes. So I even have a dupe for the eye base. So this is the W7 Prime View, and I mean, this is obviously a massive dupe for the P. Louise eye primer. So I'm actually just going to use some of this. I have used this before, and I know that there's a couple other brands that do have very similar dupes to this as well, because I mean, it looks like kind of an easy product to dupe because it's just like a primer. And I mean, P. Louise one has always worked so well for me. My favorite one, well, that it has been for a while, is the Urban Decay potion, because that honestly, my makeup does not budge, and I'm so glad that I found that primer, because my life has changed by using that primer. I'm not even joking. I know it's quite a exaggeration, but honestly, when I'm working for like 10 hours and stuff, and I sometimes want my eyeshadow just to last, that primer is amazing. I haven't given this bit of a long wear test, but I still think this, like the packaging is just as good as the P. Louise one. So for eyeshadow palette, we're going in with this one. It's been a while since I've used this. So this is a W7 Mardi Gras palette, and when we look inside, I mean, tell me this is not a copy and paste of the Be Perfect Tahiti palette. So I have had this for quite a while. I think I've had it for about like a year and a bit, and I haven't used it in ages. And this is kind of like the perfect video for it. I actually haven't tried the Tahiti palette. It's on my kind of wish list, like, you know, to purchase list one day, amongst other things. But you know what, this palette so far is really gorgeous. Like the colors are just outstanding. I mean, I love colourful eyeshadow palettes, and even though it's quite big and it is literally a dupe for another brand, I still quite like it, and the quality is pretty damn good. Makeup by Mitchel, she actually did a comparison, I think it was like a year or two ago, and insanely they look exactly the same. So I feel like going in with kind of like some of the red and purples today, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. So I'm gonna go in with oh god, I should have thought this out before, but I didn't, because I kind of just wanted to like wing it. But I'm gonna go in with Jamming just here. So let me know if you guys have picked up like anything by W7, especially like dupe wise, because they also like to dupe Huda Beauty. So they have a couple of palettes, which are, I think it's like the Atlantis palette, which is a dupe for one of the Huda Beauty palettes. I think it might be the Mercury Retrograde one, which obviously a lot of people love that palette. I still have yet to try it, but I've heard very good things. So let me know if you have picked up any of the W7 dupes and if they're any good, because I know my beauty outlet still has a couple of them, so I'm just quite intrigued if they're worth picking up. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a shade Flambeau. I'm not sure what that actually means, but it's kind of like a reddy tone. So I'm going to kind of blend that in slightly. I feel like some of these shades might have dried up slightly because they're kind of lacking any, like, a lot of pigmentation. Like, you can still see there is quite a bit of pigment, but I think because it's just been sitting in my kind of cupboard for a while, I have neglected it slightly, but we are just gonna carry on and hope for the best. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Beads, which is a slight purple, so we're kind of mixing up the reds and purples like I kind of mentioned, but I'm trying to like just do something different with the look because, you know, I've been kind of doing similar looks recently and I want to kind of like just branch out slightly, and I feel like this palette is kind of perfect for just kind of being quite experimental, so I'm hoping it's gonna look good and not completely crazy. Okay, so now we're just gonna end on a shimmer because I feel like we're looking crazy. So I feel like I'm gonna go in with Royalty just here, which is a kind of like a, I don't know, it looks like a pinky purple shimmer, so I'm hoping it's gonna give me some payoff and not just crumble all on my face. You know what, I actually really like this look, and it's not perfect because honestly my makeup looks are never that great, but you know what, I feel like this is a kind of great summer look and it's quite warm today, so even though I'm not going anywhere, it still looks good. So I'm actually going to get rid of this lip oil now because we are going to finish on the lips. And so we're going to end on another W7 product. So I actually was going to use another lipstick, but I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to use this one. So this is the W7 L Word. So if you couldn't tell, this is going to be a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury. And I thought this was like the Pillow Talk version, but this is just like another kind of colour. So it's a bit deeper than what you would kind of call Pillow Talk. If I could find like a close shade to this, then I'll put up a picture because I'm sure there's going to be a colour like this existing, and it's quite a neutral one, so let's just get this on. This is it. This is my finished look using pretty much full face of dupes and quote unquote copies, because, you know, I can't say that they're essentially a copy and paste, but they do look quite similar. Let me know what you guys think. So everything I think is quite good. I mean, my surprised thing is probably this moisturizer. I mean, my top lip is being quite problematic as it always is, and you know what, it still looks like I have a bit of kind of moisturizer, tinted moisturizer there. So this is quite nice. I mean, it's nice to use for like every day when I'm going to work. Like I said, if I don't want to use anything too heavy, and having like a tinted moisturizer is probably going to be right up my street because my skin has been doing, touch wood, quite well these couple of weeks. This Pro filter is nice. I mean, it does the job, it does what it's supposed to do, which is meant to give your face a bit of a dewy look. This is like, it's fine, it's good. I mean, I'm gonna stand by NYX because I really like them as a brand, and they obviously just do really amazing makeup. And W7, I think, again, with like everything that I've been talking about, is quite it's quite weird about how like you literally just copy a packaging and you copy like the layout of something and it's totally fine, and I'm the idiot that still buys it. But you know, I mentioned this in the video already. Let me know what like your favorite dupe is, or like your favorite kind of like closely like looking palette. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias because I'm always active on there. You get to see what I'm up to on a regular basis if you care. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.